5 nights a week, here in this studio in Dallas, Michael Moulton reaches an audience of people from all walks of life, tackling tough topics like drug and alcohol addiction, an issue he knows all too well.
Gather round, gather round, gather round, clowns. Michael Moulton, Into the Rock, coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, D-Town, baby. I never imagined in my life, and what a great feeling it is to help people, to help save their life. You know, I get messages every day on how God is using me to touch people. We reach over 500,000 people a week.
We have got a lot to talk about today.
Via his podcast and Facebook shows called Into the Rock, Moulton shares about his dark past as an alcoholic and drug addict and how he went from building homes to being homeless.
When I had the home building company and I was married at the time, my behaviors were getting worse and worse. My consequences were getting worse and worse. And I will never forget that in 2009, I got pulled over and I got arrested. I had a large amount of cocaine in my truck. I was intoxicated, and I was arrested. And I'll never forget when they took me down to the jail, I had my very first mugshot.
26 mugshots later, Moulton hit rock bottom.
When I look back, that's how the word powerless. I'm powerless over this deadly disease.
Agitated and facing 3 years behind bars, he experienced a spiritual encounter after an inmate asked him to read to him.
And I grabbed this book from a gangbanger, a Black Panther, and he used it as a pillow. Brand new book. And it was the Living Recovery Bible, New Living Translation. Now, these are black words on white paper at the time. They're not meaning anything to me. And the next thing I know, 4 days have passed by. And I started thinking about this and I go, 4 days just went by and I wasn't anxious. I wasn't in fear. I was calm and I was at peace.
Later that night, another life-changing moment.
I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh, like that. And all of a sudden, I felt all this trash and hatred and anger and resentment and everything just coming out of my body like flies. All this stuff was just coming out. And I just took this breath and I just go, and something magical happened and I was full of love. And I was looking around and I loved everybody.
That love motivated him to hold Bible studies behind bars.
And I started preaching and I didn't realize what I was doing. And I did it at the end of every dinner.
In 2017, a paperwork error led to Moulton's accidental release. So with no money or food, he walked 300 miles to ask Judge Jennifer Bennett to send him back to jail.
I walk in there to turn myself in, and I'm excited. You know, I'm like, I'm going to go back to prison. I'm going to go do my time and get this over with and get this behind me. I'm in complete acceptance. God is running the show, right? And I walk in there, and Judge Bennett says, Mr. Moulton, there's obviously someone a lot bigger working in your life than me, and I'm not going to get in the way. And she set me free. And she says, I want you to come back tomorrow with a self-correct program. And she goes, I want you to go pay it forward.
And Moulton is doing just that by sharing his story of freedom and sobriety with those seeking help for addiction.
I was the biggest mess in the state of Texas. Today, the judges call me to ask me for my advice. There are judges in the state of Texas that have reached out to me that I have personally helped them with their family members to get them into treatment, to get help. There are judges that family members who have watched the show that have reached out that are now clean and sober today.
Judge Bennett has even appeared as a guest, and the impact of Moulton's work is reaching around the globe.
I've been on podcasts all over the world. But we're getting them, the majority of them are from America. But it's all over.
In the end, Moulton says his message is simple. If God changed him, he can change anybody.
I don't wake up in the middle of the night craving a drink. I don't. The mental obsession of drugs and alcohol has been removed. And my drug of choice today is God. I am grateful that through all the pain, my story, and everything that I've been through in my life, is that I finally understand better on what forgiveness means.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News, Dallas.